All right. Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 44. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm the other guy.
Zack Huber.
Zack Huber.
And we got a bunch of trailers and topics to cover today with you guys.
Yeah. All the time codes will be down in the description if you are watching this on YouTube. Stick along for the ride if you're just listening to on a podcast. But we got 4 trailers we want to go through. And then we got some Supergirl news, some Spiderman, MCU, Sony news, Deadpool, and some Avatar news that I only know half the story about. So we're both going to be learning some things today.
Yeah, I'm going to fill you in. But,
we're gonna start with the trailers. So if you're here for nerd stuff, for superhero things, maybe fast
that'll be
forward,
the last half, right?
But I think these trailers are really interesting and really fun. I think we should talk about them, and we're gonna start with the Roadhouse remake that is coming out through Amazon, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. As well as
Conor McGregor.
And
I can't remember her name, but the actress who played, I think, Ratcatcher is in it. I think that's her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think she plays the love interest.
Okay. So Roadhouse, to be honest, I've never seen the original, so
same.
I can't say anything to the effect of the original movie. I can just say what I'm watching from the trailer. I think it looks great. I mean, Doug Liman's the director. He's made The First Mission Possible. He made Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is one of my favorite movies.
The Edge of Tomorrow. He did Jumper.
He did Jumper, and then the last one, Born Identity.
Yeah, he did do Born Identity. Yeah, he's done a lot of really good movies.
Right.
And I will say though, I don't think I would have guessed he's directing this from the movies I've watched he's made. And it very much looks like an 80s movie, remake. It's got 80s vibes for sure, which I don't think is bad. But it's definitely different for him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like from what I've heard about the original, it's bar fights, and it's this guy who's good at fighting turns into the bouncer and is just kicking ass the whole movie. I'm assuming, but this one seems like there's. I mean, I don't know. It seems a little generic in the way that it's him probably just falling in love with a girl and becoming a part of this town or whatever. But I don't know. I think it looks great. Straight up do not like Conor McGregor.
Oh wow, you're that intense about it, huh?
I mean, I have issues with him.
Okay,
but as the villain, from what I can see from the trailer,
he's a natural. Yeah,
I will say, because he has the MMA UFC kind of back history experience.
Yeah,
the punching, the fighting looks pretty well done.
Yeah,
and I think Jake Gyllenhaal is holds his own pretty well. I think it looks good.
He looks great. I think the fights between, Jake and everyone else all look really great, honestly. So
yeah, the main issue I have with the movie though is Amazon bought MGM Studios, I think a year and a half ago, maybe more. And they made a promise that they were going to put most of the movies that they put out, they were going to be the one distributor that, the one streaming distributor that puts the most amount of movies
in theaters.
Right. And so,
which is pretty huge because Netflix just came out and was like, yeah, we're never going to release the movie to theaters. That's just not who we are.
Well, that's not necessarily true, though, because
Netflix, yes, but they said going forward, we don't plan to release any movies to theaters because our customers want to see it on Netflix. They just came out with that.
Well, I've not seen that, but I will say, they put Meister out in theaters. They put The Irishman out in theaters. So, to me, I'll say going into the Amazon thing, because I can talk about like why I think that's a dumb idea with Netflix. They said they were going to put out all these movies in theaters, and unlike the Black Widow situation, which Scarlett Johansson specifically signed a contract that said that her movie was going to be in the theater, he did not have that necessarily. If I understand, it was not in the contract, but it was implied, and he was under the impression this movie was going to theaters.
Doug Liman. I mean, I know Jake Gyllenhaal was as well.
Right.
And like so much so that he like, you know, got together with Jeff Bezos, had a private screening, and like pleaded for him to change this direction they were doing. And Jeff Bezos was like, nah, we're good.
Right.
So,
So and Doug basically is boycotting watching his own movie down at South by Southwest because he did an open letter to Amazon saying like, you guys lied. This might be the best movie I've ever made in my life.
Wow. And it's not going to get nearly as many eyes because it's not in theaters.
And there is data that says if you put your product out, your movie out in a theater, more people will watch it when it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
More people will want to go sign up for your service if that movie had been out in theaters. It's like it gives it that like prestige as opposed to basically what a streaming movie sometimes amounts to be is a straight to DVD kind of, you know, the new straight to DVD sort of thing. And I just don't understand it. Like you're not going to make any more money having it just be on Amazon. If you put it out in theaters, you make money from putting it out in theaters. Like, and then you can put it on the fucking
what
streaming.
Amazon is thinking, and I think what like Warner Brothers was thinking, like before Zaslav and like Discovery bought them, is they were like making movies specifically for HBO Max over there, before the whole merger. And to me, that just shows that they're like, oh well, people will like they're expecting people to subscribe to their service like just to see these like really good movies. And I think that's what Amazon is thinking with this movie. They're like, oh, well, if it's only on our service, then people have to subscribe to Amazon to watch it. And I just don't think that's the right model. Like
I think it's worked for any streaming service. Sure,
right. And I think like the thing is that if you let's say there's a lot of people who just don't go to the movies, right? And
that's true.
But what I'm saying there is that like if you got the good press out there that like a bunch of people saw it and loved it, and then it like, you know, a month or two later went to streaming, these people will be like, oh wow, okay, great. I should go check that out because it got all this great press.
I mean, that's what happened with Barbie and Oppenheimer. Yeah. I mean, people who typically don't go to the movies went to go see those two specific movies.
Right.
And they were two of the highest grossing movies of the year.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, no, I agree. This model has not proven to work. I don't know why they're choosing to do this.
The top 10 movies streamed in 2023 all had theatrical releases.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of them had theatrical releases. Right. And it's granted, one or two of them have asterisks. I think one was Elemental, and the other one was Knives Out, Glass Onion, because that one still had a theatrical release.
I still think they messed up with Knives Out, Glass Onion.
Oh, for sure. But they still put it out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like two, but it was in like limited theaters too.
Limited theaters. So, I saw it in the theater.
Good for you, man. Yeah. That would have been great.
But still, it still had it, you know?
Yeah. Right. So yeah, no, I feel you. It's messed up. Amazon messed up. I totally understand why Jake Gyllenhaal and Doug Liman are not happy, or Doug Liman, whatever you want to call him.
I think it's Liman.
It's Liman, yeah. Well, yeah, but regardless, it is messed up.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm hoping that there's enough people that can eventually talk about it, that it'll get a theatrical release. But
yeah, I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel weird. I feel like I want to see this movie. I'm already like have Primes, but
yeah, same.
But I hate it. I hate that they went, okay, you made this great movie, which Amazon was saying, yeah, if you make a great movie, we'll put it out in theaters. Well, I mean, obviously we've not seen it, but you know, I mean, obviously the director is going to say he loves it, but I feel like many other people have been saying like this is good.
Yeah.
And I think Amazon might have even said this is good. And but we were going to put it out streaming.
The movie Air, wasn't that owned by Amazon as well? Am I thinking wrong about that?
I can look it up.
Yeah, because from what I hear, like that was made to be a direct to streaming movie. And everyone loved it so much they were like, yeah, let's just put this out in theaters. Which was what I like logically should have happened with Roadhouse. If it's being received as well as it is.
Let's see who Amazon. Yep, distributed by Amazon.
So Amazon decided they had specifically made that for their streaming service, and then we're like, nah, let's put it out in theaters. So does that mean that they think it's so strong that they like, oh, let's keep it exclusive, or do they think like, well, it's not strong enough to be in theaters? I don't know.
I'm guessing that they feel like it's not strong enough to be in theaters.
Yeah, they must, right?
But I guess we could watch it and see if they're wrong.
Yeah. I think it's a toss up. I think this movie could be like wonderfully campy,
it looks
and like it, kind of a great action movie, or it could just be I don't know, terribly written and just good action. So we'll see. Yeah, it comes out soon, right?
Yeah, it comes out. Let's see, Roadhouse release date 2024 March 8th.
Oh wow, that's really soon. Okay,
yeah,
a month out. Well, we'll probably review it since it's on streaming. So
it's true.
Yeah. So next trailer we want to talk about here is Ricky Stanicky. This was a trailer that like surprised the hell out of me. It stars Zac Efron, John Cena. I can't remember the two other guys who are in it. Their names,
like the younger guys.
Yeah, of the friend group.
Right.
But basically, the concept is just these guys, whenever they have a fun event planned or want to go do something, they make up an excuse, like they have to go see their old friend from college or high school, whatever it is. And like, the one they have in the trailer is that their friend has cancer and they had to go see him at a hospital, but they were at some like sporting event or something, or I can't remember. I
thought they were in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas, that's what it was. And so their wives realized that like they might have been lying to us this whole time.
Zac Efron's character gets a call that he might have his child born like, I don't know.
Zac Efron's character?
Yeah, it was like he's gonna be born like 6 weeks early.
Right. And so they call every hospital trying to figure out where they are, and they're not at a hospital, and there's no one named Ricky Stanicky. Right.
So and I'm under the impression I was under the impression that they had been visiting this man, Ricky Stanicky, which is a ridiculous name. Because he's had either he just has gotten diagnosed with cancer, or he's been like they go out to see him because he's been diagnosed with he's been dealing with like it's like the cancer's come back, and that's why they're going out to see him. And they've been doing this for like 23 years. Just for an excuse to but fucking like, party.
How have they never asked for a picture of Ricky Stanicky? Like how is like how is that
like he really doesn't like the cancer makes him look like he's lost all his I don't
maybe,
but like insane
the premise it's such a great comedy plot.
It's such a good for sure,
and it just feels so. I guess I'll explain the rest of the scenario. They end up hiring an actor, I
think like a male like
you're right, he's a stripper. Male stripper. But so he agrees and he acts for this part, and
which is John Cena.
John Cena is playing Ricky Stanicky, and throughout his acting as their best friend, he starts to fall in love with this like life he's had that he now has, and the friends now like want to get rid of him because he's kind of messing up their lives, I'm assuming.
He's either messing it up or I feel like this plot has happened in a lot of different movies, like Flushed Away. It's happened in Flushed Away. I was trying to think about like it almost has like a Christmas Vacation, like Cousin Eddie sort of thing to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Where but there's been that plot of we used you for a thing, or like what about Bob? You know, like, and then like the therapist is like, what do you can't, like, all his family loves him, like starts to love his patient, and it's driving him insane.
Right.
And so like, it's not like a new concept, but I feel like there's enough wild shit in this trailer that it's just going to be very enjoyable.
But I also just feel like we haven't had that concept done in a movie in a while. Like all the movies you mentioned are decently old, and we don't have these kind of like these 2000s like style comedy movies anymore. Like this is exactly like when you would expect this movie to be made, right? And it's coming out in 2024, which is like, I don't know, just super exciting. I love those kind of comedies from that era. Yeah. So, yeah, and everyone's dynamics and humor and comedy just look great. So.
Yeah, I mean, has John Cena and Zac Efron done a movie previously?
You know, I almost thought John Cena was in Baywatch.
Blockers? Was it in Blockers? Were both in it? Yeah.
I don't think I remember that movie.
Blockers.
But yeah, John Cena wasn't in Baywatch, was he?
No, that was
I know The Rock was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, John Cena was in Blockers, but I don't think Zac Efron was. Yeah.
So maybe their first movie together. Yeah.
It might be. Oh no, I'm looking at Baywatch, the old Baywatch. Baywatch 2017, Zac Efron, David Hasselhoff. I guess not. No. The Hoff. Okay. Well, I think Zac Efron, first of all, has turned out to be a really great actor, and second off, he's really funny, and so is John Cena. In the right role, John Cena is really funny in the right role. So hopefully,
I think both of them are funny in the right role. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then John Cena, honestly, ever since Pacemaker, I'm like, he could do anything he wants, honestly. Well, yeah. Hopefully. He impressed me with Peacemaker. Besides that, like, he was really good in what's that movie? Remember that? With Bill Hader and
just Trainwrecked?
Trainwreck, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. He was great in that.
So good. Yeah. But it was like a specific role.
It's a very goofy, like stupid John Cena.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, sure. I think all of his roles have a little John Cena in it. I'll say that.
They should.
Yeah. It's for him to be his best, right?
Right.
But I would say like Dave Bautista doesn't really necessarily have to be Dave Bautista,
No. But yeah, Dave Bautista's more.
I think he's more, a serious actor.
He is.
But I think I would love to see, like, after this, John Cena do something maybe more serious to see like the dual sides of his acting,
Right. I just need Peacemaker season 2.
Well, James Gunn said he's almost written all of it.
I know, and he said it's a banger.
It's a banger, so I'm excited about it, but probably won't see that for 2 or 3 years now. I'll say 2 years. I'll say 2. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 2.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the Ricky Stanicky trailer.
Yeah.
The next one's a completely different kind of trailer. We want to talk about the A24 Tuesday trailer. This one I hadn't heard about it at all.
It just kind of popped up on my Instagram. It was like new A24 with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and it's named Tuesday.
Yeah, I had heard there was a movie, A24 movie coming out with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
This actually like might be the second or third one she's done because
okay.
Yeah, I'll look it up while you're talking.
But yeah, this one was a shocker because it's such a weird concept, but it's such like a lovely movie.
Right.
It's basically about this mom taking care of her sick daughter, and one Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the mom, and one day this parrot I think, comes and visits the daughter, and it's this kind of magical, maybe divine
Yeah.
creature
Yeah.
who's has a very deep voice, can speak English, has some kind of a magical eye. He can shrink and grow in size. It's very interesting, but basically this, from what I gather, this bird helps, the mother realize, this is a time for her to go, and for you to say goodbye, and start the next chapter of your life. So it feels like a very, very, maybe I'll go there first. I love the fact that it's like, I always love the kind of closed feeling, like closed set feeling of these movies, where like you're at this one location, you're like a limited amount of actors. Like it looks like there's maybe 2 or 3 actors in the whole thing. So I think it's going to be a very like heartfelt, emotional story that's super focused, and I love that.
I just going back to before what I said, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the other A24 movie she did was a movie called You Hurt My Feelings, which was this past year. So this will be her second A24 movie. Like Ian was saying, very limited cast, and it has this fantastical, like, Iron Giant, E.T. sort of have the magical creature, which has come in, the fantastical being has come into your life, and it kind of is a way for the characters to fix something with their relationship or move on or whatever. This being either she has to say goodbye to her child for a death reason or for something else.
I see. It feels very much like a death reason,
and I think that if this movie had come out in like the mid 2000s, I've seen plenty of movies where, like, I remember there was one about like a Loch Ness monster type, and it was in like Ireland. And I've seen like a couple like, I feel like it would just be like this,
it's in that realm for sure,
movie. But this one, it's interesting.
It just has more adult tones. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, it's got a more like serious, mature like message, maybe,
Yeah, and I mean, on top of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's acting, which
oh my gosh, she blew me away in this trailer. Zach, this trailer made me cry. Like, that's how good the acting was. I was like, yo, what?
It was really powerful just from the trailer, and I think what helps with it, setting it apart from a fantastical, more like family friendly
family film, right? That's the word.
Movie is, first of all, that parrot has a kind of scary voice to begin with.
For sure.
It's just shot differently. It's,
and shot as a more artsy film.
Yeah,
which A24 is always that way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely left an impression in my brain that this small child finds a parrot the size of like a small apple or some sort, and then it turns into a gigantic parrot and then starts speaking to her. And I was like, okay, I was not expecting that from
not at all.
Movie called Tuesday,
Well, just the way the movie or the trailer starts, it's a very real like scenario,
right?
And then you just have this crazy magical bird, and you're like, okay, sure, I can get into this, I guess.
Yeah.
So no, I'm super interested to see what happens and what's going on in that movie.
Yeah.
And if there's any explanation about the bird or not, but even if there isn't, I don't think I'll be upset. Like, it doesn't seem to be like that kind of a movie.
What kind of a movie?
Where we'll get an answer about like the origin or like why this bird is like, maybe we'll get why the bird is here. I don't know,
you would hope that you would understand like what the purpose of the bird is.
Right.
I'm sure there's gonna be
something.
But I will say I haven't seen it, but Dream Scenario, which was that other A24 movie with Nicolas Cage, where he was in all their dreams. I did hear, spoiler alert, I did hear that it's not necessarily addressed why he shows up in everybody's dreams.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't think I expected that. I think I just expected like what just the consequences of all of that happening. You know, I think I was more excited to see that.
Okay.
I don't think that I necessarily needed like why. But no, I guess I could see people being upset that there isn't like a why.
Yeah. I still have to see it.
Yeah, I need to see it
to know like how I'd feel about it, but
right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
if it doesn't bother you, then cool.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a great one.
Yeah.
But the next one, the last trailer we want to talk about is Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Honestly, when this trailer, when I didn't even see the trailer first, I just heard the directorial debut and lead actor Dev Patel is his movie that is now coming out through Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions. It's called Monkey Man. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's a ridiculous title.
No, but the trailer explains it very well.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I recognize Dave Patel, but I can't remember what he's been in, like as an actor.
So Dev Patel was, first of all, the villain in the Venom movies.
Gosh. I just realized he played Zuko in the movie, the Avatar movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I remember him from.
He broke out on Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he most recent, I think the most recent movie I'd seen him in was The Green Knight, which is a great movie.
Okay.
I could go through some more, but like, yeah, we've seen him. I've seen him in a few things. I think he's great.
Yeah. But this is also from the same like studio who made John Wick, right?
At least it has a lot of people who are involved.
Okay,
I'll say that. But it was originally similar to what we were speaking about earlier with Roadhouse. Mm-hmm. It was going to be as just a streamed movie. It was just going to be streaming. Wow. And Jordan Peele, who did Get Out,
he's the executive producer on this.
He saw it and he said, we, under his Monkey Paw Productions, which he's also signed to, I don't know who he's signed to, but he was like, we need to put this out in theaters.
It's a theater movie for sure.
Jordan Peele is, the reason why this is getting a theatrical release. And after seeing, now, I trust Jordan Peele's judgment, even though I didn't like his last movie very much. But that's one movie out of three.
Sure.
And just watching this trailer, it is John Wick in Mumbai, and I think the mythology building, the action looks really like great, No,
I like straight up the concept of like the trailer explains it, but like the concept of there being this protector of a village or a city, and he's he was the white monkey, and this person just always aspired to be a protector for the place he lives. And I think that's really all you need in this movie. You kind of get the fact that he's now able to do what he's always dreamed of and protect people, and I can't tell all what the mission, the full story is. I can let you know if you want. Yeah,
so please. The main villain had killed his mother, and he also, I think, is kind of like corporate taking all the jobs away, or like just kind of destroying his community.
Oh yeah. They were saying that like the rich don't care about the people here. And,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a revenge thing, and I will say, not that John Wick is completely impervious to damage and whatnot. But he, from what I've seen, going more realistic in some senses. Like he tries to like break through the glass and he just like bounces off of it. And, you know, he's having a hard time fighting. So there's like a bit of like a kick-ass vibe.
But there's also like a lot of flashy like moves where like he was in that kitchen fighting people and pretty much using like every piece of equipment to like hit people.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's that piece of John Wick in it where he's very resourceful, but yeah, maybe more realism like the first movie was.
Yeah. I'm hoping, I hope it's got that nobody, first John Wick, bit of kick-ass, I
haven't seen Nobody yet.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's great.
You gotta watch Nobody.
Nice.
And you know,
and then wasn't there like a World War movie that they had done the John Wick style? Sisu. Right. I gotta see that too.
Yeah. And maybe we do that for our next watch party.
Do Nobody in Sisu.
Oh, yes,
that'd be cool.
But I hope he like tries to make it up to the top of the building, John Wick 3 style, kick-ass style, and but like make it. I want it to be a good story, but I will definitely be there mostly for the action.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story is gonna really help carry it though. Like I think the action is very important for these type of movies, obviously, but I definitely want a good story for this. So,
and I think that
I think we're gonna get one.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the lore that you're explaining with the Protector, that is an actual part of like Indian mythology / maybe religion. I'm not entirely sure, but that is an actual thing. And I think that's cool.
That's very cool.
You know, like we have all this Western mythology about Greek and Roman gods and like biblical things, and it's kind of and people donning like certain things, personas from old literature, and it's kind of cool to see that happen from a culture and a civilization I personally don't know that much about, and I'm like, so I went in going, Monkey Man, that's a ridiculous title, and I left it saying it's still a ridiculous title, but I like it.
I don't think it's that ridiculous. Like you know, with all the story that's there, I think it's. Pretty
I know,
perfect.
but okay. So you're walking, you're like you're at a party, and you're like, oh, have you heard of that movie Monkey Man?
Okay, sure, yeah. When
and
you
people
say
go like, Monkey Man,
right?
You know?
Right. Yeah. No, I feel you.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Because like, what if it was like White Monkey? You know, kind of.
Do you think that's better?
The White Monkey.
The White Monkey. That's not bad. They might be a little better. But yeah, I definitely get the vibe that like it almost has a superhero kind of origin story feel where
right,
he's in the, but he's like
the
he's
Monkey
in,
Man.
No, I mean more specifically like he's like you see him like fighting in the cage as like a normal like with the normal monkey mask, and then it looks like by the end of the movie he's fully dyed it white and he's now the White Monkey.
He's turned into a monkey.
Fully, yeah. He fully transitions to a monkey, yeah.
A monkey dripped blood into his arm, and he gained monkey-like abilities,
just like Craven.
yeah. And it's like, and then the post-credit scene, Craven shows up, and you're like, fucking
it's all connected.
Sony crossover, and then Madam Web like portals in, and you're like, I thought you weren't a part of this. Your movie sucked.
And then Morbius comes in on Vulture's back. Yeah. It'd be the greatest end credit scene of all time. I mean,
and then in the shadows, you just see like Venom's tongue, and you're like,
Venom's here too. Yeah.
They're all going up against Venom. Holy shit.
That would be that realistically that would be the worst thing ever this movie could do. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we wanted to talk about trailer wise.
Yeah. Now we're gonna move on to all the nerd topics for the rest of the podcast. Starting with
always talk about.
And we're gonna start with some Supergirl casting, which I'm so excited about.
So excited. Yes.
So Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is a movie that is coming out in the new DCU under James Gunn and Peter Safran.
The first 10 projects.
The first 10 projects. This is number 3 out of the movies with not Man of Steel, with Superman Legacy and then The Authority preceding.
Oh, okay. Those are going to come first. Okay.
And so we have our Supergirl casting. I don't know if we had talked about it previously on the podcast, but there were 3 girls up for the running for Supergirl. And one of them is none other than Millie Alcock of House of the Dragon.
Yeah. And personally, she might have been my favorite. Rhaenys. No. Rhaenyra. Oh. And she was probably like my favorite of like the new, like all the new actors that we got to see on that show. Like she genuinely I think she killed it in that first half of the season.
Fucking she was smashed great. It.
Yeah. And then when I saw that she was in the running for Supergirl, I was like, there's like no way. Like this is like a perfect casting in my opinion. Like she's just got the
like
right
she
look.
Could be Kara.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so interesting because I don't know if you saw what James Gunn said about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So he was just saying like when I first saw her in House of the Dragon, like I immediately was like, oh, she would be like a great choice for Supergirl. And basically, you know, like a year after, or I guess it was a year after that, he started auditioning for that, and she came down and to the final 3, and then chose her, and he's like, this is just like the perfect scenario, and I couldn't have been happier with it. So, and then even like Matthew Vaughn, which I was surprised about, like he talked about this
He's got
movie.
So much stuff to say nowadays.
He does, especially with Argyle coming out. But he was like, he had said like recently he'd want to do like another Superman movie. But then he was like, but on the recent casting of Millie Alcock, he's like, I personally love her as an actress. I think she's a great choice. And like, he's like, personally, I always like to cast my own movies, but like, this is one of those times where I would definitely want to go and do Supergirl. So I don't know if he's the right choice, but I think everyone's just like, yes, this is like the clear right choice for this role.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what the movie is. We only know that it's based off of the
Woman of Tomorrow.
Woman of the comic series,
right?
Which not read, but from what I understand,
I still want to read it.
Yeah, I want to read it very badly. She is more of a slave trying to get off of this planet, and it's more hardcore than Kara shows up on Earth and she's like, oh my god, Cal, oh my god, it's been so long, right. And Millie has shown, I've only seen her in season 1 of House of the Dragon, but she fucking was one of the best parts of it.
She killed it, yeah.
She has a sweetness, and she has a kind of hardcore determination.
Right, where she knows who she is and what she wants, you know? And she's able to show that.
Yes, like she can show like the confidence, but she can also show this, I don't know,
this kind like younger woman side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see her in the role. Would I like Matthew Vaughn to do a Supergirl movie? I like Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't love every project,
right,
but when he does it right, I fucking love it. Yeah. And I've heard mixed things about Argyle, but I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it.
By the way, so I don't know if you've heard, but like the big twist was spoiled. So I do know what the big twist is.
Is it about the cat?
No, well, it's like who the real Agent Argyle is.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. So I won't say anything. But basically, it's crazy because that account that I follow on Twitter, Discussing Film, 3 years ago when they tweeted about the movie, they tweeted about like who the real Agent Argyle is, and I was like, what? So everyone technically knew this whole time, and we all like somebody resurfaced the tweet, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So yeah, really interesting. But yeah, not the point of the topic.
Right. So like with this casting, so far we've got a Superman who's like what, 29? You know, maybe
he's 29.
maybe younger.
He might be the early 30s by the time the movie comes out.
And we got Millie Alcock, who's probably gonna show up as like a young 20-year-old to maybe even teenager.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess she could pass for a teenager. She definitely did in House of the Dragon. I feel like I would place her in the young, like the early 20s. Though.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I honestly, this casting is pretty. Yeah. I'm excited.
So what's interesting? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's interesting to me that they did go ahead and cast like the first role outside of like Creature Commandos and Superman Legacy. You know, like like even James Gunn was like, well, I've said nowhere that she's going to be in Superman Legacy.
Right.
So I think maybe this is like now a time where we're going to start seeing some more castings for like other movies. Like maybe we'll get our Batman soon. Yeah, maybe we'll get some members of the Authority soon. I don't know.
We have already gotten one member of the Authority.
Oh, have we? Okay.
The villain of Superman Legacy, which is the Engineer.
Oh, so he's going to be in the Authority as well? Okay.
Or she.
She? Okay. Cool. I didn't know that. Neat.
Yeah. And I was hearing people talk about how it's really exciting that James has been casting for like months. You know?
Yeah. Like just writing, casting, directing, everything.
And you don't, it feels like you don't get to, that doesn't get to happen as much. But he is spending a lot of time making sure that these castings are like are
good. They have to be perfect. Yeah. Like I think the state of DC is not a good place, and you got to nail everything. Like you just have to.
And Superman Legacy is not going to make $1 billion. It might not even make $800 million, but it needs to do 500 to 600, you know, and then I think we can call it a success.
I think I'm gonna predict it hits 750. I think that's my prediction. But I could definitely see it only hitting 500 to 600, which is, I don't know. It's scary, but
considering the history of like the DCEU movies and how everybody feels about them, they're already starting from a deficit.
Yeah.
So it's going to do the same thing that Man of Steel did, where it's like, it's not going to be like
But Man of Steel like hit 800 million, I think. So
I think Man of Steel, what would you, box office?
Yeah, box office.
Not even 668 million.
Wow.
You know, because first movie out the gate, you know,
yeah, and you know there's going to be a bunch of Zack Snyder fanboys who won't see this. So yeah,
but they can go watch Rebel Moon and be like,
have fun with your Rebel Moon and your stupid zombie movie. And
whoa, I had fun with that movie. Okay,
I knew you weren't going to love that. Oh man, but yeah, no, I think this is a great casting.
Yeah,
and I hope we see her in Superman Legacy. I think that would be cool.
That'd be cool, but
it'd be the first time ever they're in a movie together.
That's true. Technically, we got Supergirl in the same movie in the Flash.
Yeah, but not really. You know.
Well, I mean, you did have the Supergirl with George Reeves, right? In the old black and white Superman show.
No, Supergirl wasn't. She wasn't in that, was she? Okay. Well, I mean, I said movie, but
right. Yeah. Well, no, there was no Supergirl in any of the Christopher Reeves Superman movies.
They had planned it for Superman 3 and then decided to scrap it and just make her own movie. So,
is that why like there was? Because they did have that Supergirl in the Flash where Christopher Reeves was in too.
That was basically an homage because they were always supposed to be in the same universe. They just never met. And so they were like, let's just have them finally be in the same scene, you know, which I really liked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's move on to some other nerd topics. I think we wanted to also speak on some Deadpool stuff. Was that next? No. So it was Sony next.
Yeah.
Sony Marvel.
Okay. So this is a rumor, not exactly confirmed. It's just something we're hearing. So I was reading on comicbookmovie.com that there is some discussions between Sony and Marvel about what they want to do with Spider-Man going forward with Spider-Man 4.
Yep.
So we got they're two pretty different,
crazy different ideas, right?
Yeah, completely different ways to take Spider-Man. And me and Ian have kind of talked about it previously.
Yep.
And so here's the two sides. Sony would like to expand upon the multiverse-ness with the Tobey Maguires and the Andrew Garfields, and wants to continue on with having those characters with Tom Holland's Spider-Man going forward.
Right.
So they want to lean into the multiverse. They want to lead into having the three of them together. Marvel wants to go street level and continue on Spider-Man in quote unquote smaller stories, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. The movie set it up for a street level. I mean, and they obviously have huge street level plans now that they would love to have Spider-Man in.
It's all going down in New York again.
It is, which I love. I think it would be so exciting to see like him and Daredevil together. I think that'd be so great.
And with Miss Marvel, like, hey, but I'm in Jersey.
She's not really street level.
Yeah,
I mean, she just had a cosmic movie, but
but like,
I agree. Like, I agree with you. She should be street level. I just don't think Marvel's treating her that way. So yeah. But yeah, no, I think
with like Hawkeye with Kate Bishop, she'll be a bit more street level.
What do you mean, like? Oh, because she recruited her at the end. Yeah. I guess I thought maybe that was more for like the Young Avengers, rather than it being like a street level thing. But maybe. I'm
thinking Young Avengers could be street level.
I mean, it'll at least be like Earth based, you know. Like, there's no way they're going like off Earth.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think like, obviously myself and I think most Marvel fans want them to stick with what they set up, and we had, I think, too much of like, you know, world level threat Spider-Man. You know, like we got it really. You know, No Way Home gave us some like world ending threat, and then, you know, he was also in both the Avengers movies, which were crazy Thanos level world ending threats. And I think, people just want to go back to that first movie, Homecoming, where he got to fight his girlfriend's dad, and it was an emotional fight, and it was a ground level mystery that he got to figure out. And I think that is where Spider-Man is at his best.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I would like to. He is making his own suits now. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah,
and
he's got his Tobey Maguire apartment.
Right, he's got his Tobey Maguire apartment. He's in the young 20s Spider-Man, which is exactly what I want to see. I want to see it stay in New York, and you know, yes, I would like for him to show up in Avengers movies too. But like. I think that what they did with Toby and Andrew, they kind of sent them off on their way. And like, if you want to bring them back in some other movie, like, great, do that. But
just if you're do their own movies.
Okay, yeah. So what I want to say is, Toby, would it be cool to see something if somebody has a good idea? Sure, but if they wanted to do something, I really would like to see what Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is like, either A, before he meets Tom Holland and he stopped throwing his punches, which I don't think they'll really show that because that's kind of more likely, okay, so he saved the MJ of the
Earth
MCU
616, right?
And so he goes back to his, and he's like, okay, and now I can start saving people again. I can, what I would like to see more with that Spider-Man. Like, I genuinely, if Sony wanted to, like, I think go do that. But to capitalize on having, I mean, look, I get it. That movie made almost $2 billion, and everybody was like, I love Peter too, and like Peter 2's my boyfriend, and everybody had like a favorite Peter.
Right.
But I think, bring them back if in some way, if you want a Secret Wars or later on.
Right. But it can't
don't make
be,
it's too much of a good thing. It'll just, it won't matter.
To me, it's like you can't just do a sequel where we all got what we wanted, and we don't need them to keep teaming up. Like it can't, to me, it can't be the focus of the next movie. I just think it's forced at that point. Like you're just like, oh well, it made us a crap ton of money last time. Let's just do it again. And I think let's just tell good stories about one Spider-Man. I think we got our multiverse stuff with Spider-Verse. Let's just leave it at that.
Right.
And have our own good Spider-Man grounded stories.
I agree.
And I wouldn't even have a problem. I don't think they'll ever do this, but I wouldn't even have a problem with them like doing their own Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and like Marvel, like MCU doing like Tom Holland Spider-Man at the same time. I think that could
not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool, but I can't see Sony wanting to do that.
I mean, considering the fact that they don't even, it doesn't even seem they know what they're trying to build with the Sonyverse anyways.
They don't. Yeah.
It's just so sad. Why can't they figure out they cannot make any combined full storyline for the most, besides the animated Across the Spider-Verse stuff.
Right.
They just cannot, they put too many things into Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. They tried to do too much interference with Spider-Man 3, and now they're like, oh, Vulture's come in and Venom's gone into the MCU somehow, and are they connected at all? I don't know. None of it makes any sense, because why would Vulture be there in the first place?
Right. You have to just think that like Kevin Feige in the MCU is just like, fine. Like this one thing you can have. It doesn't make sense, but like whatever, fine. If you want this thing, then
nobody's watching them, and we're all like aware that they're a different universe. So like, if you want to do it, fine. He's probably just funny. Like, oh, this fucking guy.
people like are theorizing that that's why Dakota Johnson is like not like super behind this movie, and like Madam Web and like that, basically that like she thought she was signing up for an MCU movie when she got this Madam Web piece of crap. I don't know how, if that's true at all, but I could see it. Yeah. But that's
what are your thoughts? What do you think they should do with Spider-Man? I'm asking the listener. I already know what you want to do. So
right. I mean, the villain I would say would be Scorpion. I mean, I think I said that last time.
Right.
I would love to see Michael Mando come back and do Scorpion. But yeah, let's just keep it ground level. And I think you listeners, maybe I'm speaking for you, but I think you agree. I think Spider-Man shouldn't be teaming up and going in the multiverse.
Don't tell our listeners what they think.
I think they agree. Okay. Prove me wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Prove me wrong.
Sure. Well, next we kind of in line with some more MCU stuff. The synopsis for Deadpool 3 kind of got leaked or announced or something by the Japanese studio over there, or Japanese account. Do you have the line?
It very like off the top of my head, it was if I remember correctly, the irresponsible superhero Deadpool will change the history of the MCU with Wolverine ?
Right.
So, couple things. Is this something that maybe is lost in translation because it's being translated through a Japanese account? Potentially.
Yeah.
The other way to think about it is, if this is accurate, what does it mean for Deadpool to change the MCU's history?
I would be surprised if Deadpool is allowed to like touch the past history of the MCU. Like clearly he's touching the past history of like the 20th Century Fox universe. I think maybe the translation should be like the Deadpool changes like the course, like the future path of the MCU, because like I think he could easily do that. History, I don't know what they would want to wipe away from their MCU history. Like there's just not a world I can imagine where that happens, you know?
Because I'm curious if this movie somehow is, when it says changes the MCU history, somehow this is how the X-Men and mutants somehow get in there.
But we already have a mutant, you know?
I know. I am thinking about how, what you were saying about like how much of the MCU would it be willing to touch, or is it something that's only phase 4 that it's touching? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine Deadpool just erases everything since Endgame?
Or he does go back and change things, and the whole thing is him trying to fix it, and then he fixes it for the most part, but then some things, you know, like,
but
so
he
it's
has
kind of
to like kill all the 20th Century Fox characters to do it or something, or
yeah, I don't know. And that's the other thing. It seems like there's going to be a lot of different characters from the 20th Century Fox.
It almost
and
sounds
other
like
movies.
Every single character from that universe is returning. Like that's like all the rumors I'm getting. It's just like there's so many characters returning.
But I'm just so curious, like how it will fit into the MCU, because like from the Marvels, we have Beast, who's like in this other reality, this other universe that Monica Rambeau is in. Mm-hmm. And like, is that the X-Men, like 20th Century Fox universe? Is that a different universe? And like, I'm pretty sure we're going to get new X-Men. So
at some point, yeah.
Is it going to be like something happens where like, okay, cool, we see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine for the last time, and then something happens where like it's Wolverine, but it's not Wolverine, like it's the MCU's Wolverine that somehow gets brought, like we have in it. I don't know.
My prediction for that, I think, is that like maybe what the movie does is that like when Deadpool crosses over into the universe, like so does like the rest of 20th Century Fox, kind of like, you know, all their characters as well. And so like, and maybe that's like throughout different periods in like the MCU's timeline that they're kind of inserted. And maybe like, you know, with his time traveling device that he got at the end of 2, he could go around to each like, you know, section of the MCU and then kill those characters, which sounds crazy, but like I think it makes sense if you want to leave him as the only like character you're bringing over from 20th Century Fox, you know, and then you would start new like later on with a new like X-Men cast and a new Wolverine, you know.
But like, why would he be killing them?
Because they're messing up the timeline, and he has to like fix the timeline, you know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I could see that being a Deadpool thing where he has to kill a bunch of heroes.
Yeah, I mean, it could potentially work, considering I heard that the TVA is like heavily a part of the plot. Yeah. And which, you know, that
I think that's cool.
I think that is cool. It would be cool to see the TVA.
I'd love to see them even more after this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes sense. I mean, I think there's, without a doubt, the reason most of whatever is going to happens is because of him jumping around in the post-credit scenes, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, wait. Like, you're talking about Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
You think so? You think that's where, like, that's just like the thread that they're going to pick up on? Is that like,
yeah,
he kind of messed things up by time traveling so much that he just, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It does. It almost like that end credit scene for Deadpool 2 just felt so like insane to me that it was just like maybe like a non-canon like end credit scene.
But I think some of it did happen.
Like saving Vanessa? Like you think that was...
Oh, yeah, that happened. Yeah. That 100% happened.
I hate that so much.
I love it so much.
Yeah, but like the whole movie was about like letting go, you know? It was... And then he's just like, not gonna save her. I don't know, man. I don't think it was needed, but I don't know. It's Deadpool, so I don't know. He can do whatever he wants.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, well.
But yeah. I don't know. We'll see. What are your guys' thoughts about what do you think Deadpool 3 is gonna do? So yeah.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then lastly, we have some more interest. So we talked about the trailer last week about Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action trailer. But a lot of new information has come out in recent days because the creators of the live action show have just been, I guess they've been doing interviews and talking about how they've adapted things. I'll just kind of go through what they've been saying. Basically, well, the first one I have here is they felt they had to find a balance for the live action series where it could appeal to the original fans of the show and to people who like Game of Thrones.
Okay.
That's an interesting choice. I don't feel like the Game of Thrones and Avatar: The Last Airbender really correlate in my mind. I think they realistically want to make this like a grand adventure, maybe, or like a grand kind of a showcase of something. I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe they just want the popularity of Game of Thrones. I don't know. And but basically they said hold on, where is it? So Albert Kim says the series couldn't just appeal to kids, but must appeal to people who are big fans of Game of Thrones while being true to the DNA of the original series. So that statement pisses me off even more. I'll say that because the show, I've showed the show to like adults and they who had never seen it as a kid. And they absolutely love it. Like they think it's like one of the best shows of all time. And I'm like, so this show is clearly not just for kids, like, and I think to say that you have to change things and adapt it because it's a kid show and a cartoon just means you didn't get it at all. So more there, they basically have changed things now about Sokka and Katara. Sokka, basically, they've taken out the fact that he started off as a sexist character. They felt like just certain things didn't translate well from a cartoon to live action, but it's not like the show ever agreed with him being a sexist character. It clearly showed like he had to change and learn things that he thought were true that really weren't. So I think you're taking a lot of character development away from him. And then with Katara, they're apparently like taking away, there's like a bunch of gender issues and like roles that she had that they kind of want to take away from her. I don't know exactly what that means. Basically, they just said the quote is certain areas of Katara's character have also been removed, including some gender issues that didn't quite translate from the cartoon. So I think maybe that means like her being like somewhat of a mom to the group. Maybe her being forced to be a healer at first by the Northern Water Tribe was removed. But I just think like that in itself is a great conflict and like truly brings her to the point of like she's going to be and wants to be a great waterbender rather than just being a healer. And yeah, I think if you remove like the fact that she's a mother type figure to the group, I think that's a huge loss. I mean, especially for Sokka and Katara's like development. There's clear things down the road where like Katara needs to be like a mom, you know? And if you remove that, you're just changing the show fundamentally. So those are definitely the big things. The other really huge thing is that they basically decided to, at the very beginning of the show, give Aang this vision of what will happen at the end of the season. And so at that point, he's like, we have to get to the Northern Water Tribe. Whereas in the cartoon, he wanted to like go to a bunch of things that he wanted to like experience and have fun with. But like that journey is so important to the first season, and to strip all of the things he does outside of like the real like main quest, I just think is such a mistake. Like you're stripping this show down to like the basics and stripping characters down to like boring versions of themselves, where it just doesn't sound appealing at all to like any original fan, I feel. So yeah, that's my big rant. That's all the information. I don't know if you had heard any of that.
So I had read about the stuff with Sokka. I didn't know about the stuff with Katara. I'm still a little confused as to what it could be that they're alluding to, which might be what you're talking about.
Right, it could be. Right.
And, the Game of Thrones thing, I agree with everything that you're saying. Like if you watched it and you thought it needs to appeal to like an
adult audience,
right, then you've obviously missed something, because there's lots of people who have watched that show as an adult and love it.
Yeah.
So I'll say, hopefully, the Game of Thrones-ness about it is they want to make it, these big empires and this civilization and this like dramatic quest. And you talking about Aang having this vision that wasn't originally there, and it was Aang that wanted to do things as opposed to needing to go somewhere and be on a quest.
Right.
Is where I'm feeling like the Game of Thrones-ness about it. It makes it more serious, which is, it seems like that's a lot of what the trailer was like, making this world more serious.
Yeah.
So, I can only hope that this adaptation is, that idea it works. But the stuff with Sokka, so I thought about it when I was reading it, and I don't want to come across or seem like, hey, I want sexist characters on screen, right?
No, but yeah, ones that realize their mistakes, I think, is such a powerful like piece of writing and a powerful like piece of media to show that.
Right.
And I think you just getting rid of that is, I mean, I'll let you. I already said that, but
right.
It's just a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, like even like I was thinking about it, and by the way, there's like articles that were saying like whole Reddit threads dedicated to Sokka's misogyny and sexism, and then I click on the said Reddit thread, and people are in it like quote unquote whole Reddit threads where it was like, I don't know, one or two things, and I was like, great journalism. and look, I get it. We live in a time where like we don't want to see that sexist behavior is there,
like rewarded, or right.
But I feel like people are like, it cannot exist in media, and I'm like, but it happened. First, it still happens, and to have a character who starts off one way and then by the end has changed is something that, for some people, is like, gonna be a like either a wake up call or just like, hey, like, I was wrong. And I remember that being a part of the show. And I feel like it is an important part of Sokka, because he was like, no, I'm the guy, I got to do the thing. And I'm like, and then he like changed, and a lot of that came out of jealousy for not being like a waterbender and only being like a warrior, and like
but it changes like it starts to change so fast, and like in the original cartoon, that it doesn't make sense. Like you would have only had to deal with like really sexist Sokka for like a few episodes, and then you get to Kyoshi Island, and he meets the Kyoshi warriors, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are actual like warriors, and you're better than I am, and you're women." So I don't know. I just it's such a lack of like understanding of the source material. It doesn't make me excited at all for the show. It makes me want to skip it way more than I did after watching the trailer. The trailer had me in the first half, but no, I am pretty upset of everything that they've been saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Unless they add some other interesting thing about Sokka's character, I would be curious to see what his character will be in this show, because it seems like that was a big part of it. But like maybe they'll just lean more into like being a comedic character, and that he wanted to be a waterbender, and like just being like dealing with him being like just the warrior and like
yeah, I mean,
like
it's interesting because like it feels like they don't really get to that stuff with Sokka, where like he finds his like true kind of like I don't know if I want to say purpose, but like he doesn't come into his own like combat wise until like season 3 of the show. And I don't know, I think if you like force that into season 1, it's I don't know, I just think you're losing a lot of that journey for him to get to like where he is in season 3. So I don't know. We'll see what season 1 has in store for itself. I can't say this has been getting any good press as of recently, so who knows how well this is going to do in its first week or so. But
when does it come out again?
I think it might be this month.
I think
I can look it up real quick. Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. That is that's the animated show live action. That's still the animated show. I don't know. It's coming out in February, I think. So it's on Netflix. Here it is. February 22nd. Yeah. had to find the Wikipedia, but yeah. So in a few weeks it'll be out. Yeah, who knows if I'll watch this thing. I really don't want to, but
I'll watch it.
Maybe I will for the podcast. Who knows? Yeah, but that's all the topics we had to talk about today. Now's the time where we talk about what we watched in the past week. I can start if you'd like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been watching some more Ted. It's been great. It's just a bunch of dirty jokes and weed humor and 90s humor, and I don't know. I think it's it surprised me how much I'm liking like the side characters as well. Like they'll sometimes have their own like B-side story, and it's not with John and Ted at all. Mm-hmm. And it's working. Like I think this is like a pretty really good sitcom.
Nice.
Yeah, and then movie wise, we watched Whiplash together. And that was genuinely one of the greatest films I've ever seen.
I told you.
I mean, like, here's the thing. I've been wanting to watch it for years, but there's just, I don't know. I guess I'd been like waiting to watch it with some people or something. I don't know. And it blew me out of the water. Like first the like sound design and music were just incredible, like just incredible to listen to that movie. And then, the acting, I mean, truly, I think it's the greatest performance J.K. Simmons has done. Probably Miles Teller as well. They both are so intense in their roles and are such driven characters. It's just it's wonderful to see. There's such like wonderful mind games being played, and the story just takes you on such a trip, like so many twists, but not like your traditional like mystery twists. It's just like certain turns you don't expect the movie to make. And then, but once it's there, you're like, oh my God, this is like even better now than what it was. And I think the movie ends on a beautiful note. And I couldn't say more nice things about this film. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, what Ian said. I mean, I love that movie, and it's truly one of the great screenplays I think I've ever seen. And performance-wise, yeah, I mean, both of them, both Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons just crush it. And it really is this manipulative, but also in a weird way, this aspiration that both the lead characters want, and there's this longing for greatness, but to what end do you draw the line on what is acceptable as to push somebody to greatness?
Right. Yeah, no, it's just so beautiful. I could watch it again easily today. Oh, man, it's so good, dude.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah, yeah. It's probably my top 10 like movies of all time.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it's that good.
I mean, I'll say it was so frustrating, and I told you this when the first time I watched it, where at the very end of the movie, as they're going and we get to the end, we're building, and then right at the very apex of the climactic song, ad break, and then it was like after the ad break, like credits, and we're like, it was just one of the most like cock block like moment. Like I was like, well, why the fuck do you put an ad right there? You goddamn, like I was so mad. But
no, I get it.
Didn't happen this time, which was
did
nice.
Not. Yeah. And what that was through my Netflix with ads. No, it wasn't. That was with your Netflix. So I'm glad we didn't have ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've watched this week. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I watched Maestro.
Oh, nice.
The Bradley Cooper movie about Leonard Bernstein. And it's a movie.
Oh man.
No, it's not terrible by any means. It's just,
but it's not what you were expecting.
Well, it's I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's
a biopic, right?
Sort of. It's more of a love story, and it's more about him and his wife. So it's really about him and his wife's relationship. It's not really so much about Leonard Bernstein as it is the two of them. So it feels strange calling it the movie Maestro, because I'm under the impression that I'm going to learn about Leonard Bernstein, and it's kind of going to be this musical biopic. Which it is, but it's not. Like, it just says the thing, like they, in conversation with other characters, it says what he did as opposed to showing it. And
I don't love that.
You see some things he does, but so the first half of the movie, I was pretty engaged with it, but it's still I didn't necessarily always feel their relationship or particularly connected to Bradley Cooper's character. And there are some weird setting up of shots where characters will be having these intimate conversations, but the camera would be so pulled back that you wouldn't really see the characters. Wow. And so you're more like just listening to the dialogue. So there's some like strange.
That's really strange. Yeah.
Camera choices, but at the same time, there's some really interesting and cool ways that they wanted to show what Leonard was into and communicate things. And there's some really amazing like one shots, but at the end of the day, I don't really feel like I got to know who he was. I will say that Carey Mulligan, who plays his wife, was actually incredible. Like, she was really good.
Better than Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I would say so.
So you don't think, are you thinking like he probably shouldn't have gotten nominated for this?
I don't think that I think for him as a performer, like, I wish
he's done better.
I think I really wish somebody else had directed the movie, and I wish somebody else had also written the movie, because he wrote it with somebody else, he directed, and he was the lead actor.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
And it really could have used I think it would have benefited if either he directed and somebody else played the role, or he kept playing the role and somebody else directed, because there were just choices that just didn't. By the end of the movie, you started to like kind of move past things pretty quickly, and then by the end, you like see this thing and you're like, why? What does that have to do with anything? Also, I feel kind of strange about this new thing that like just happened, and then it like ends the movie and you're like, what was that movie about?
Yeah.
So I don't know, 3 out of 5 stars. There's like good things about it. I definitely wouldn't have put it in the best movie of the year by any means. You know,
okay. So I didn't realize it was nominated for that and Best Actor
and Best Actress.
Oh, okay. But you thought that deserved it, right? Best Actress.
Oh yeah, she was great. Okay. Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah. That's unfortunate for sure.
Yeah.
It looked like a good one.
It looked like it could have been. Yeah. I really would have liked to seen, like, I honestly,
and it was just hyped so much
to have seen it go through a somewhat stereotypical musical biopic.
Right.
Would have actually made it benefit. And like, if I don't know, that's what I'll say. It was all right. It was okay.
It was all right. Yeah. Is that all you watched this week?
Yeah, I watched Bluey.
How's Bluey?
Honestly, it's delightful.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually, I'm 27 and I was like, hey, we should watch Bluey. Like, it's on. Like,
you suggested it?
Well, Hannah was watching The Emperor's New Groove, and then it went to like Bluey, and I was like, let's just watch Bluey. You know, I've never seen Bluey. I heard it's actually kind of fun, and it was. And like, I honestly, it's a comfort show. I get it.
So it's not. You could watch it without having a kid there. Like you would do that.
Like, it is. It's like SpongeBob level, like, funny sometimes.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. I'll have to take your word for it.
It's just like, I don't think it gets to like the place that SpongeBob gets to, but there's like adult humor for sure.
Okay.
In a weird way. Like, and the art style is actually great. Like,
I like the art style for sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised. That's cool.
And the episodes are only like 6 minutes, so it's like,
that's it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really short. I guess kids' attention spans are really short these days. Huh?
Yeah, but like, when I think about it, like Max and Ruby, I think is only like 6 minutes anyways, and that was like around when we were kids. So
really, that's how short they are.
Yeah,
wow.
I think Max and
I loved
Ruby
Max and Ruby
episode lengths. It doesn't say. Oh, maybe it's oh no, you know what? Maybe they were more like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay,
well, I was wrong. I thought they were like 6 minutes long.
I know the original SpongeBob lengths were very short. They had. I mean, you basically, like, the first episode I think has like 3 episodes in one. So they're basically like 5-6 minute shorts.
Right.
So yeah, that's neat. That's neat. I'll have to. I don't know if I'll ever watch it, but I'll have to take your word for it.
I don't know. I feel like you should try it. It's kind of delightful.
If it's only 6 minutes, maybe it's worth it. Yeah. But yeah, that's. I think that's everything we watched this past week and everything we wanted to talk about. Wanted to thank all of you one more time, like we always do, for watching and listening to our podcast and supporting us every week. If you want to continue to watch us in the future, we drop our podcast usually on Fridays on YouTube. And if you want to listen to us, we drop it on Fridays on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. If you want to support us on social media, you can follow us on our Instagram and TikTok, which is in the link below in our description. And if you want to support us one more time, we would always appreciate a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or a subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Comment what you think. or say or give us a like or just we'll see you at the next time. I don't really know what to say right now, but thanks for if you got this far, I appreciate it. That's what I'll say.
Nice. Well, see you next time, everybody.
Until next time.